Hey guys, I think it's time for another bright side of infertility. Um, and if you are a new subscriber, my name is Sarah. It's nice to meet you, hear from you, hopefully. um, so the theme of today's video is IVF. How is that a bright side? Well, it's a bright side because I work with someone who never had kids. Most of the people that I work with are older, and they always get the questions at the Christmas party. So do you guys have kids? And the wife always says, no, we don't. And someone prodded them one time, and the husband basically had to say, look, it wasn't our choice. And that makes me realize how lucky I am. It's going to make me cry. There was a time when if you had to go through what some of us are going through, you would have no other options. There was always adoption. That's absolutely true. But there's no denying that it's completely heartbreaking to find out that you will never procreate. That is something that you must grieve. So I don't care how much it costs. And I don't care how invasive it is. And it doesn't scare me anymore because I've decided to realize it's a blessing. There was a time when this would not have been an option for me and for my husband. So I wrote some notes down so that I wouldn't forget anything. Just want to talk a little bit about what we have available to us that wasn't available before. So really quick Wikipedia search looking for IVF comes up with some of this information. So how long has it been around? Well, the first quote-unquote test tube baby was born in 1978. And that was done naturally, so to say, meaning that they didn't do any stimming. The term in vitro is Latin for in glass. And now it's used sort of like in opposition to in vivo, which means inside an organism. So anything that's in vitro basically now means outside of an organism. The physician or physicist, I don't know, that developed this process won the Nobel Prize in 2010. And more people are taking advantage of this treatment. I recently heard there was a high school that had twin valedictorians, and then there were like 3 more sets of twins in the graduating class. You'll have to look that up. And basically, that's becoming more common. You're seeing a lot more sets of twins in high schools and in schools because there are so many people who are infertile. No one seems to talk about it, but now that this treatment is available, more people are able to have kids, and you know that the stimming process means, you have a potential to have multiples. So, that first cycle, the first baby in 1978, was natural, quote unquote. So, some of the things that we have now, like the developments over the years, are as follows. There is ovarian hyperstimulation, stimming. So all the ladies that you see giving themselves injections or receiving injections with the goal of causing multiple follicles to develop into mature eggs, that is ovarian hyperstimulation. Now, some women after retrieval will have OHSS. That's ovarian hyperstimulation syndrome. So that's the difference between those. That's a potentially painful experience to go through after egg retrieval. Speaking of, egg retrieval is the next on the list. The fact that they can now do this transvaginal, basically surgery to go retrieve your eggs is another new development. By new, I mean since 1978. There's egg and sperm prep. I did not know that they prep the eggs. There are cells around the egg that they remove prior to a procedure such as ICSI. Well, prior to any IVF procedure. There is what is called sperm washing, which is where they separate the sperm cell from the rest of the semen material. And they do that when they do IUIs. When they do IVF with ICSI, part of the prep includes whacking the tail to either remove the tail or immobilize the tail. Because if you've ever seen the movie Look Who's Talking, I don't know if it's in there or not, but when a sperm and egg meet naturally, the sperm's tail naturally falls off. So since you're not having that natural process, they like to at least immobilize the tail, if not remove it. You don't really want this crazy swimmer inside of your egg doing damage. There's co-incubation, which just means, a nice cozy environment for your new egg and sperm friends to hang out and hopefully turn into an embryo. There's embryo culture, embryo selection and grading. So now they can basically give a score to your embryo so that they can select the best embryos to put inside of you. One thing not on my list is the genetic testing. I would like to opt for that. I think they call that PGD. You guys will have to tell me. I'm probably wrong. But basically that looks at the chromosomes of the embryo, and if one is missing or if there's an indicator that there would be a problem, they can kind of discard that embryo because you don't want it transferred to you, because it often will end in a miscarriage. So then there's the embryo transfer, which I just mentioned. And then another thing I'm hoping to do, which is cryopreservation. So any little extra MBs that you have, you can freeze, and at a later date, you can do a frozen embryo transfer. Say if your first round doesn't work, or if it does work and a year down the line you would like to have more children, you could do a frozen embryo transfer. And then that way you don't have to go through the stimming process again, which we all know is expensive and invasive. Pretty traumatic for your body to have to go through that. So, yeah, this horrible, awful process that I'm so afraid of is the positive in today's video. It is the bright side. So, I'm feeling very thankful today, and I hope that you all are doing well, and I will see you again soon. Bye.